Mea tevel, mea chulin. So the name Moshe says, we're talking about she's arvu. They got mixed together. Hach tevel the masis nachamai, but tevel shu fresh menu chuma gedola. Chuma gedola is taken off already. Ela shalov shu mimenu meisus. Meisus not taken off. For the tevel of chumas meiser lechol mimeshaba. So the size of meiser, of course, there's chumas meiser involved as well. So so how do you make sure that you're taking from not from what's already fixed, but from what's definitely tevel? So nota mea v'achas. Take 101. Mea tevel, from 100 tevel, you take, uh, oh no, take 101, period. And that one is going to be the Trumas Maitza for sure. Next case, Mea tevel, you have 100 tevel, Mea Meiser, and 100 Meiser is supposed to chulin. Nota Mea v'achas. You still take 101 in order to get one which is for sure going to be able to be Trumas Meiser. Right? That sure comes to the Meiser. Mea chulin metukanin, mea Meiser, you have 100 chulin which are fixed and 100 Meiser. Notel, mea ve'eser. You come out with 10 of the Meiser to Trumas Meiser. Take 110 off. Mea tevel v'tishim Meiser, you have 100 tevel and 90 Meiser. Tishim tevel, the Shmoni Meiser, you have 90 tevel and 80 Meiser. Lo yivsid klum, you haven't lost anything. Why is that? Because let's say the case over here, right? 100 tevel and 9 Meiser, right? So in order to make sure you have from the Meiser, which you take off, it's in mathematics. So for the case of 100 tevel, 90 Meiser, for the tevel you need 1 to be Trumas Meiser, and for the Meiser you need 9 to be Trumas Meiser. So you take 10 from the whole mixture. Manashach. If you got Meiser in your hands, then it's fine. Because you took 10 and you have 9 corresponding to the Meiser and 1 which corresponds to the Tevel. And of course you can say that the Tevel, that 10 of it, 10 is Meiser, and 1 of these is what I'm taking. So you haven't lost anything. Because, and even if the Tevel came up in your hand, you have 9 Meiser, you have 10 Meiser Rishon, which you can make Shumas Meiser on all of it, like we just said. And so if you have 90 Tevel and 80 Meiser, you have to take 9 for Shumas Meiser. You take 9, because even if it's all Tevel, you have 9 Meiser, which you can use to make the Shumas Meiser on the rest of it. Both on the Tevel itself and on the Meiser. So I mean, so as long as there's more Tevel, by 10, we'll say, you don't lose anything, because you always have the shear of Meiser Rishon in the Tevel. You can make Shumas Meiser and part of the Meiser as well. But it's less than 10, obviously you're going to lose something. It happens less than 10. The Chaim says that in this case, you give all of this to the Kohen. In the case we give 100, well, actually in the first case in Mishnah, case we have to give 101 to the Kohen. So you give all of it to Kohen, but you take payment for 100 of them, right? Because you were supposed to get 1. You have to give 101 because you have to make sure they have some. You're actually taking some which is Chayv and Meiser, but and Chumas Meiser, but still he has to pay for the other 100. I hope you can get him to pay. Not necessarily the case. So what's going on in the second case in the Mishnah, where it says that you have 100 Tevel, 100 Meiser, so you have to take 101. Now, really, how much Chumas Meiser you need in this case? You need 11 Chumas Meiser, right? You need to have 10, which is Chumas Meiser on the Meiser, 10% of the Meiser. You have to have 1, which is Chumas Meiser on the Tevel, because of that Tevel, 10 is going to be Meiser, and 1 of that is going to be Chumas Meiser. So to make sure that you have sufficient in order for it to work, you need to take 101. Because otherwise, we're afraid if you only take 10, obviously the 10 could be from the tevel, and therefore it's not suitably to Chumas Meiser. How do you know that you're taking at least 10 from the from the um, from the Meiser and one from the tevel? If you take 101, right? So therefore, you take even you have 100 tevel in your hand, you have 10, which can be Meiser Rishon, right? Because that's the case, and you can make them Chumas Meiser for the Meiser. Um, and therefore, when you take 101, you definitely have uh, uh, enough, because you definitely have um, one, which is definitely Tevel, and that would be the Chumas Meiser on the Tevel. And you have 10, which could come from Meiser, could come from Tevel, but it doesn't matter, because either way, it can be Chumas Meiser, because you make Chumas Meiser from the Meiser itself or from the Tevel on the Meiser. Because obviously, it can also become Meiser. Okay, so now the Gemara says, Rish Lakish Amar Tzorich Lasos. You have to specify this. Lomar, it says in Tevel Labi Yadi, if what I have here is Tevel, so who Meiser? So then 10 of it is Meiser, of course. The Meiser Labi Yadi, and if I have Meiser in my hands, Harei Hu Asui Chumas Meiser. So then one of them is Chumas Meiser, because obviously um, that's the amount which is going to be Chumas Meiser on the on the Tevel, and uh, the altogether you're going to have, well, not one of them is Chumas Meiser. All 11 are Chumas Meiser. So again, he said it's really a two-stage process. He says if I got Tevel, so first 10 of them are Meiser, right? And and now I say that, and then 11 of them altogether, which really Chumas Meiser, but I can't tell which 11 they are. So therefore, I have to give the whole thing to Cohen, and I could charge him for the other 90, but I have to give him all 101. Um, the Rabbi Yehuda says so both know. He has to say it's Naikofel of Lamar. He says im lav, and if not, lo sisi klum, meaning that um, uh, it should be mevuror, and say if tevel came as of my hand, it's meiser, and if not, meaning it's meiser, it's not meiser, right? And it's and vice versa. When you say and if it's meiser, so then 10 of it should be 10 of it should be the Trumas Meiser and on itself, and one should be the Trumas Meiser on the rest of it. So he has to clarify. Rabbi Yochanan says, both know. You don't have to make it so. You don't have to specify this outright. You just have to. You don't have. Therefore, you don't have to make it like hopefully. Just say. And the truth is, I think what you actually could even say is, let this work as it says in the Mishnah in my Perek Zayin, Halacha Zayin, according to Rabbi Yochanan, because it does have to be Mavura. Could be even according to Rabbi Yochanan would work that way, but you could just say let it be a Tanai Kofel that's specified there. But the bottom line is, Rabbi Yochanan says that you don't have to be, it doesn't have to be Vurar, doesn't be Tanai Kofel. Just specify that of these 101, of these 101 are Trumas, 101, I'm sorry, 101, 11 are Trumas Meiser, the rest are not, and then you give it to the Kohen again, and he has to pay you for whatever would not be something you'd be required to give him. And that brings us actually to uh, top line Ham Ralph, and we'll stop here.